This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. Unrelenting development and traffic guaranteed to raise your blood pressure. For the third year in a row, a survey of Sarasota residents is telling county commissioners they are the most two issues that we are concerned about. What we don't know is what our esteemed elected leaders will do about it, if anything at all. Can Sarasota have its cake and eat it too? Healthy growth, increasing the tax base, while maintaining our self-described paradise. Is it one or the other? Is it already too late? Paradise lost? The county has spent a lot of money researching what we think. Now, the question is, how will that information be used? But first, let's take a look at the top 7 stories at 7. A massive sinkhole at a fertilizer plant in Polk County has resulted in 215 million gallons of what Mosaic calls slightly radioactive water leaking into the water supply used by millions of Florida residents. Environmentalists fear the incident could be contaminating drinking water. The sinkhole formed 3 weeks ago, and Mosaic says it immediately contacted the Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Environmental Protection. The company says it has also been able to contain the majority of toxic materials, but not everyone is convinced.
There is not going to be a risk for contamination in Sarasota or a risk for contamination in Fort Myers. And there isn't a risk for contamination beyond the 2 miles that stretch between us and our closest neighbors.
Phosphate mining has been leaving scars on our state that you can see from space. It damages our wetlands, our rivers, our coastal waters, and until we have greater regulation, these kind of harms are going to continue.
Florida's DEP says it is performing frequent visits to the site to monitor water quality. The city of Anna Maria Island is facing nearly 70 lawsuits from the owners of rental properties, and today it is taking action to resolve the claims. In April, the city voted to limit the number of occupants in a rental property to 8, which sparked a backlash from the rental community. Of the 67 claims filed, the city is approving 28 offers to make exceptions to the occupancy limits. In some cases, though, the city is simply offering to buy the properties.
Obviously, with a $4 million budget, you couldn't lay out that much capital. So we've looked at financing. We've also looked at selling some of those offers.
The city is offering to buy properties at the appraised value well below market value. If owners decline, the claims will likely go to court. It could be months until we know whether or not red light cameras will return to Bradenton. Last month, the city council chose not to renew its contract for the cameras, instead announcing a request for other companies to bid. The decision was made in part because the city wasn't the one to decide which intersections the cameras were placed at, with the possibility the state legislature may ban red light cameras altogether. The city is delaying its decision.
I wouldn't see the sense in signing a contract in February when knowing that the Florida legislature can undo it in March. I mean, I think to me it'd be wiser to just go ahead and wait and see what happens in the next session.
Since the cameras were installed in 2010, citations tripled at those intersections, but accident rates remain steady. With less than 2 weeks to go before a tough new law takes effect, devices used to steal your credit card information will continue to be a problem here on the Suncoast. Investigators say a credit card skimmer was found Sunday at a 7-Eleven store on Clark Road just west of the interstate. If you purchased gas at this 7-Eleven, you should check your bank statements for any unusual activity. Someone can potentially steal your financial information with one of these skimmers. The sheriff's office is recommending using cash or credit cards when buying gas. A Florida power and light project now underway in Venice will likely mean traffic delays near the Calle del Toro alleyway over the next 6 to 8 weeks. The alleyway is adjacent to East Venice Avenue near the US 41 bypass. Starting today, FPL crews will be working on the project to harden the power poles in the area. From Grove Street to Seaboard Avenue, the new poles will better be protected from storm damage. Meanwhile, in Venice, there are concerns over a 10-foot ditch, which some residents say could be deadly if a car goes off the road. The city is considering two options for addressing the concern, either putting up a guardrail at a cost of $53,000 or covering the ditch, which could run up to $1 million. The city engineer says although no one has been hurt, it is still a hazard.
Well, pedestrians and bicyclists, the curb doesn't really provide any level of safety for them. So we're having some conversations with our risk analysts, and we're also having some conversations with an outside engineer, and we want to make a well-informed decision, and then we're going to bring that information back to City Council so they can make a final determination.
Some residents say it is a waste of taxpayer money and that the city is being overly cautious. You might remember a while back we reported Thunder by the Bay will need to look for a new location. Tonight, organizers are discussing possible spots for the motorcycle rally. The annual event draws thousands of motorcyclists from around the country, raising money for Suncoast Charities for Children. Thunder by the Bay is typically held downtown, but complaints from merchants resulted in the need for a new location.
We just need to make sure we examine all proposals, everything that's out there right now, and be able to plan for the future, because the unfortunate thing is when you've got a lot of sponsors and the amount of people coming into town for an event, you just can't keep putting things on hold.
Payne Park is one of the top choices for the event. The next Thunder by the Bay is scheduled for January, where we hope it will be a lot cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, there was some Thunder by the Bay earlier today, but not much going on there now, Ellen. It's pretty quiet this afternoon. Most of the activity is inland and pushing toward the east, and looks like that's a pattern we're going to stay in too. Temperatures are extremely hot right now. The feels like temperatures still in the mid-90s. Currently at the Sarasota-Braden Airport, it's 87 degrees, but it feels like 95 out there. The heat index earlier today was at 100 degrees, and that was just about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 9. The pressure is rising at 29.96 inches. Radar imagery shows all the activity really well east of our area and kind of colliding now into central Florida near Orlando and Disney World. Boy, some powerful storms there this evening along Interstate 4 as the east and west coast breeze are kind of coming together and really firing those storms off. We may see some outflow boundaries from those storms around earlier. Ignite some showers later on tonight. After midnight, there could be some coastal showers developing as a result of the land breeze. But up until 11, we look for just a few clouds around. Temperatures staying warm, though, low 80s up to 11 o'clock. There's a little line of low pressure stretching across North Florida right now, all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. This trough of low pressure is actually absorbing a little bit of what's left behind from Julia and that little disturbance out in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see where the dry air is. It's all over the southeast, but not here. It's warm, it's muggy, and it's going to stay that way too. And by the way, the first day of fall begins officially on Wednesday. But don't look for temperatures to be fall-like at all. We are looking for cooler temperatures usually by mid-October, though you start to see more and more of these cold fronts come down, but we still have a long way for that.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, responding to the top concerns of citizens, the annual opinion survey is out for Sarasota County. Find out why the development is once again the top concern when we come back.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Hi friends, I'm Linda Carson from ABC7 and the Suncoast View. Bring your blankets and your dance moves and join me this Friday at the Van Wezel for Friday Fest on the Bay. Manatee County favorite Dr. Dave Band will be rocking the stage with their classic rock, country, and blues. We'll be outside the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall with food, friends, and fun until the sun goes down. For more information, call this number or visit vanwezel.org and the Suncoast scene page at mysuncoast.com.
Are the credit card bills closing in on you? Sick and tired of the constant struggle just to stay afloat? Shouldn't this be the year you get a fresh start? Well, now you can settle your debts with dignity and without bankruptcy, with zero upfront or monthly fees. Get the professional help at the Thomason Law Group and get a fresh start. It's easy to sign up. We do all the real work. Better than credit consolidation or credit counseling, the Thomason Law Group uses the power of legal professionals to settle your debts. You don't have to face this alone. We can help with an affordable monthly payment. Call now if you have over 15 grand in debt and settle your debts so you can have hundreds more each month. Don't put this off. legal settlement can get you fast, easy debt resolution and let you get back to the important things in life.
Call the Thomason Law Group at 1-800-394-1667. That's 1-800-394-1667.
Stop living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
And it was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
Here on the Suncoast, we are most concerned about runaway development and traffic. An annual survey of Sarasota residents has said the same thing for 3 straight years. What is not clear is what county commissioners will do about it. Kate Flexter is here with more. Kate.
Well, Alan, more than 1,000 people move to Florida every single day, so population growth is, of course, a concern. But this survey is sparking a conversation about what smart growth looks like.
Frank Brenner has lived in Sarasota for 13 years and has watched the skyline change as the economy gained momentum.
They're building on 41, they're building on Bee Ridge, they're building everywhere. There's a plot of ground, they're building on it.
And as the skyline changes, he says the feel of Sarasota is changing with it.
You're adding population, you're adding cars, you're adding congestion, and you're killing charm, the easygoing lifestyle, that which brought people to Sarasota to begin with.
He's not alone. A recent survey found that 28% of respondents ranked population growth and development as the #1 issue facing Sarasota County. It's the 3rd year in a row that issue has topped the list. The most commonly cited issue used to be the economy and jobs. That was back in 2008 during the recession when construction on the Suncoast came to a screeching halt. 8 years later, a much different story.
This new survey shows that people much more even than a year ago are concerned about traffic gridlock and the bad impacts that uncontrolled development can have on our quality of life.
Dan Lobeck of Control Growth Now says the county is at a critical juncture and needs to find a balance between development and preservation.
Well, those of us that have lived here for a while appreciate the good things that can come from growth, but realize growth needs to be controlled, and it's not today. It's out of control.
But the survey also found that 97% of respondents rate the quality of life in Sarasota County as good or excellent, and 60% feel that they can trust county government to do the right thing. For County Commissioner Paul Caragiulo, those numbers are encouraging.
You know, that's a real important number for me. That's telling me that the organization is doing its job.
Caragiulo has lived in Sarasota for 30 years and says managing growth is a legitimate concern.
I cannot recall a time looking at the cityscape and seeing, 6, 8, 9 cranes going on in a very concentrated area. I think it's perfectly natural, normal, and appropriate for one to say, wow, what's going on here?
Caragiulo says striking a balance between increasing economic development and managing population growth is the single biggest challenge facing the county, and one commissioners are taking seriously.
There are legitimate challenges, and there are some things that have to be managed so that we don't evolve into a community that is perhaps less desirable.
Mary Doherty-Slapp of the Gulf Coast Builders Exchange says limiting development and growth would have a detrimental impact on the local economy.
Growth and development go hand in hand with economic development. You really can't have one without the other.
That's why she says maintaining smart, thoughtful development is crucial.
We don't want to stop growth. When you stop growing, you die. So we want to grow, but we want to maintain the unique, wonderful characteristics of Sarasota, and we want to create a vibrant community.
But Brenner worries that vibrant community might be lost if things continue as they are.
It's a sad, sad story, and it doesn't have to be this way.
Other commissioners we spoke to said they plan to take all aspects of the survey into consideration.
All right, Kate, thank you. And when we come back, we'll go in depth on the citizen survey with our roundtable.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits in the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service